Welcome back to another video, everyone. So with the Crash Team Racing Grand Prix slowing down towards the beginning of the year and Crash 4 getting closer and closer each day, I haven't been making as many CTR videos, same with a lot of other Crash YouTubers. Most of us are either focusing on the new stuff or going back and revisiting the original trilogy to get ready for Crash 4. And I miss making CTR videos, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Although it's not going to be the usual live commentary that I make, I'd say it'll be more in the style of my review series. I'm going to be talking about why I think Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is the best kart racing game ever. Of course, this is all my personal opinion. If you prefer Mario Kart, that's fine. If you prefer Team Sonic Racing, that's fine. If you prefer Eminem's Kart Racing, that is not fine. Seek help immediately. With that being said, let's get straight into it. I think I should start by saying that Nitro Fueled was my dream game when I was younger. This is what I always hoped would happen. I was born in '99, so I was a bit too late for Crash Team Racing. I grew up with Nitro Kart, which I loved, but I always wanted to play as characters from other Crash games like Ripperoo, Papu Papu, Pinstripe, Koala Kong. I wanted to play the CTR tracks and adventure mode, and not only that, but none of my friends were into Nitro Kart, so I was always playing alone and dreamed of an online mode. So you can imagine how excited I was when Nitro Fueled got announced. A Crash Team Racing remaster with an online mode. It was the most hype I'd ever built up for a game at the time, but man, did it end up being so much more than just a Crash Team Racing remaster. All of the Crash Nitro Kart tracks fully remade, Crash Nitro Kart characters that weren't even in the original two games, some of which being from some proper old and obscure Crash games or even completely original new characters, a shitload of customization options from paint jobs, wheels, carts, stickers, skins for each character, brand new game modes, tracks, challenges, memes. This is so much more than just a remake of CTR and CNK. I know we're all Crash fans on this channel, but I'm going to explain the Grand Prix since this video is targeted more towards everyone. Each month up until March 2020, they would release a Grand Prix, which is basically an in-game event. It came with new characters and customization options in the pit stop, which you could buy with coins you earn from races, a brand new track, challenges, and the Nitro Bar. You fill up the Nitro Bar with points you get from daily or weekly challenges, and as you go along it, you unlock more stuff. Oh, and by the way, they were all free. The only kind of microtransaction in this game is the coins, where you have the option to just buy more. I forgot this was even here most of the time because it doesn't force them onto you and you can make a good amount just by playing. Especially with the weekend bonus and Wumpa time combination, you can rack up the coins if you play for a bit. For the people that don't know, you can't buy rare items like digital entropy, you can only buy things in the pit stop which are all worth the same value. It might seem like I'm going to defend everything about this game, but that's not the case as you'll see later. It's just they're out of the way, they're an option. The Grand Prix was such a good way to bring new content to this game. It was so fun speculating about what or who's coming to the game next. They really did listen to the community too when it came to adding content. Some people would argue that they didn't listen to the community because of the multiplayer issues that still exist, but let's take a look at some examples. First of all, the engine swapping feature, which I think came in the October Halloween Grand Prix. We don't think about this much, but yeah, when the game first came out, you had to pick a certain character if you wanted to play as Speed, let's say. This sucked because there were so many characters in the game, but if you were only good at using the Speed engine, your choices were limited. Everyone was saying that they should add a feature where you can just use any character and pick any engine, and they added it. This is perhaps the most important and best feature they've added in the game. Not being able to play as your favorite characters just because they're a different driving style that you don't like would be shit. Another example is when they added Ripperoo to the game. A lot of people weren't happy with his design, so a few months later, they added Fixed Ripperoo. They didn't update his design, they just added a brand new character called Fixed Ripperoo as if the other one is fucked up. Which, I mean, now leading up to the game's launch, there was a meme in the Crash community about the metal checkpoint crate being a playable character. The way it started is because in the subreddit, everyone was posting, do you think insert random character name will make it into Nitro Fueled? Then it just turned into a meme. People started doing it with completely unrealistic characters like the metal checkpoint crate, and they actually fucking did it. You can drive as a TNT crate in this game. That's just a few examples of them checking up on what the fans want. I don't know if you can consider the Velo time trials a community-based edition. A lot of people thought the Oxide times were a bit too easy, and later on down the line they did add the Velo time trials, which were in Nitro Kart. They were definitely a lot harder. I don't want to say everyone struggled with them, but I definitely did on some of them. It was a fun little challenge, gave us something to do, and then the dev trials came out. I think it's safe to say that most people struggle with these, me included. But hey, if you beat them all, you got these cool rainbow wheels that most people stop using after a month. Anyway, my point is they brought a lot of good features and content to this game, some of which was inspired by the community, but what about the game itself? How does it play? How does it feel? At this point, it really might seem like I'm sucking up to the game, but the driving in this is perfect. I've never played a kart racer where you have as much control over the car as you do in this. It's very precise. You can position yourself wherever you want. The U-turn technique allows you to make some very accurate jumps and turns. It allows you to make very minor adjustments in your driving, which could save you from messing up. Drifting feels smooth. You hop into it, get a triple boost, hop straight into another one. It feels so good. It really feels like you have complete control over the kart. You have a lot of freedom. Anyone who plays the game, you know what I'm talking about. The game CTR gets compared to the most is Mario Kart because it's the most popular kart racing game out there. I like Mario Kart, I'm a fan of it, but in my opinion, it just doesn't feel like you have as much freedom over the kart. It makes sense though, because Mario Kart is a game that anyone can just pick up and play. The controls really complement that, whereas I'll admit the CTR controls can be way harder to get used to. Nailing the drifting as a beginner can be tough, and moving on to techniques like U-turning and holding blue flame is a whole different story. Mario Kart's controls make it way easier for anyone to get into, which is obviously a good thing. This can be a big problem for CTR when it comes to getting new players into the game, especially in online mode where people know these techniques. In short, I think the controls in CTR are the best I've ever experienced in a kart racing game, but a lot harder to get into. But mate, when you manage to hold blue flame for a whole lap, it feels so satisfying. Now that we've spoken about that stuff, let's talk about the actual tracks themselves. Well, most of them are of course the CTR and CNK tracks, and they're all just as good. The remade CTR tracks are pretty much exactly the same as they were in the original, but the Crash Nitro Kart tracks had to be changed a little bit. In nearly all of the Crash Nitro Kart tracks, there were anti-gravity sections, and it just wouldn't really work well with the normal driving in CTR, so they just had to get rid of them. Sometimes they'd replace an anti-gravity section with something similar to it, like on Out of Time, and other times they would completely remove areas, like on Hyperspaceway. I like the changes for the most part. Some of them I prefer more than the original Nitro Kart tracks. I like how they changed Inferno Island from daytime to nighttime because it was way too similar to Crash Cove from CTR. Hyperspaceway is my least favorite change. They took out too much of that and it no longer has the same feel. It's the final track in CNK. You race Velo, it's the last level. You don't play it any time before that. So it's this real long, epic space track, but it's very short in the new version. Some of the tracks do suffer from invisible walls, which you'll hit every now and then, and that can be very annoying. You're going really fast, you're winning, and all of a sudden you hit the invisible boatmobile. I think they fixed some of these when they changed the hit detection on the walls and stuff. It's not happened much to me recently, so I'm just gonna hope that they fixed it. Overall, the tracks are solid when they're not bullshitting you with invisible walls. And now it's time to talk about the online mode. This is where the replayability is for most people, racing against others. It's fun when it's working, but I feel like there's a few missed opportunities here. You can only play single races and battle mode, which is fun, but I can't help but think about what else there could be. Maybe a leveling up ranking system to give you something to grind for. Other game modes like online cup tournaments, that was such a missed opportunity. I know some people wanted an itemless mode too, where it's just pure racing. There's most likely other great ideas too. I enjoy multiplayer, it's the thing that I play the most when I replay this game, but I can't help but think about what could have been in this game, which at this point most likely isn't going to come. I'd be shocked if it did. I doubt there's going to be any more updates for this game, unless they're working on like a big final update, but even then, it probably wouldn't come with a new game mode. Also, multiplayer does have its bugs too when it comes to connecting to the lobby. If the host leaves, it disconnects everyone, and sometimes they leave on the last second before the race begins. What the fuck? Sometimes there'll be an issue during the loading screen, so when you actually go to start the race, it won't start and you'll be sat there for eternity. It doesn't happen too often to the point where it ruins the whole experience. It'll just happen a few times every now and then. It's just a shame that they didn't fix these issues. I know they're aware of them, and I don't know how to fix these issues myself because I don't develop games. Maybe it's a lot more complex than it is, but at the end of the day, it's just like making the game work properly. When the multiplayer is working though, it's cool. My dream of being able to play this game with others came true. And that's pretty much why I think this is one of the best kart races out there. I'd even go as far as saying this game would be perfect if the multiplayer issues were fixed and if there was a wider selection of game modes in the online mode. As it stands though, there's so much customization in this game for your favorite characters. Pretty much every character in the Crash universe is here. There are a few that are missing, but to have all these characters, all this customization, the perfect controls, lots and lots of stuff to unlock in the pit stop or through adventure mode, which I haven't even mentioned in this video yet. You have a whole adventure story mode. Of course, there's not much of a story because it's just a racing game, but you get to race through the tracks, race bosses, do the platinum relics, find the CNK tokens hidden around the tracks. It's a very fun game that I would recommend to everyone, especially for the price. This game is very cheap, and for what you get in it, 100% worth it. It's on Xbox, PS4, Switch. It'll be working on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X too. Again, I'm a fan of other kart races too, like Mario Kart. I have so many hours and memories on Mario Kart Wii. I've got Double Dash and I've got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I loved Sonic All-Stars Racing, but none of them play like CTR does in my opinion. This is at the top. So yeah, I have to say this because some people don't listen. This is just my opinion. You can think whatever you want. If you think Mario Kart's better because, I don't know, you think the controls are better, or maybe you've got more memories on that game, then fantastic. I'm happy that you have a game that you feel the same way that I feel about Crash. That didn't make any sense, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you all in my next video.